All. It is Saturday and it is December 18th. We are in the home stretch of the Christmas holiday season, and I don't know about you, but I can definitely feel the shift in energy. We've got a lot of friends, family, everybody beginning to arrive, and what a glorious time of year, knowing that right where you are, celebration is. And so I just celebrate you and your family, however you are choosing to celebrate this holiday season. It's always a magical time. Continues to be for me. I don't think it matters how old I become. Love this time of year. It'll always be a fan favorite for me. My name is Rachel Allen, and I do believe that we as women have the right and the opportunity to redefine what fitness is all about. I believe it gets to be fun and, of course, intentional, and the outcome transformative. I think that's what inspires me to continue to come back to the mat week by week, day by day, morning by morning. I know that as the mornings are darker and colder, it becomes more difficult to get out and move in the morning, but there are lots of hours in the day, ladies. Did you notice that? There are lots of hours in the day. So whatever is working for you, whatever is calling you forth into a greater sense of vitality or joy, freedom for self, I just support you right where you are. What a week. This has been quite a week. I know for myself, in my circle of influence, if you will, there have been a couple of losses, and so there is some grieving that is occurring. Family and friends and children that are walking through this process of loss, and I know that a couple of other friends have had some recent diagnosis where there is that time of uncertainty and maybe some sense of powerlessness, if you will. And so it's the opportunity for me as a practitioner where I do spend more time in prayer, more time in meditation, listening, and knowing that beyond all of what is unfolding around each and every one of us and the lives that I've just mentioned, that there is something that is greater, that is cradling each and every individual. So that is my stand on that, and that is where I am. And if you are somebody who would like any kind of support in maybe walking through a loss yourself or a diagnosis or whatever that looks like, I always put my contact information at the end of the video, and just know it would be an honor and a privilege, of course, to hold that space for you, for a family, for a beloved. Really ultimately knowing what's highest and best for each and every individual truly is unfolding in this time. And as we support one another, I was blessed this week by an old business associate of mine, Byron Lindley, and his wife Lotus, who are no longer in the Tucson area. They're actually living in the LA area, who have moved into the industry, well, one of the industries, I should say. They're a multi-talented family, multifaceted, if you will, which I always love working with individuals like that, because there's so much creativity in all of us, and when we can fire on all levels, how exciting that is. So Byron and his wife do doTERRA essential oils. So if you are curious about essential oils, want to add that to your self-care list, ways, tools, definitely give them a contact. I will put their information at the bottom of the post, so you can definitely link on to their website and find out more about how to contact them and get some questions answered. I know myself this year, I absolutely, over the course of years, I've used essential oils. The ones that are on my desk are all about frankincense and cedarwood, and for my studies, as I was getting ready for my certification, I used rosemary. It is supposed to enhance memory, and so I don't know if that was it. I felt much like a college student as I was studying, just kind of, I was in lockdown actually for 3 days prior to my test, and just really took the time to hunker in, I should say, and do the do. But it all, I believe, all works together. And so anything that they can support you with, I'm sure that they would be more than happy to. So like I said, I'll put their information as a part of this post somewhere, and feel free to contact them. And it's always an honor, like I said to begin with, that people are supporting individual independent contractors, self-employed, those of us who have our own business, our own way of being and manifesting. So just thank you, Byron and Lotus. So moving into this week, Monday, the beginning of the week, we did in our forgiveness time together, the healing the losses was a forgiveness aspect. And I know that last week, the topic of self-esteem. And I know for myself, as I continue to walk in this glorious journey called life, that offers up the opportunity, the learning curves, the lessons, if you will. I know that is when I come on to the other side, when I get into the solution and I move through the process of the grief and I move into forgiveness, that is a really key, fruitful, potent place. where I do find a lot of self-esteem, a reclaim of self-esteem, if you will. It's the opportunity to remember that as I walk through these occurrences in life, the situations, the circumstances, that I have the potential of leaving aspects of self in non-forgiveness or in a place of judgment or shame of self or others. When I hold that energy in those places in the past, that I begin to walk in the world in a place of shutdown. I know that I've shared to the group, coming out of victim consciousness is always great, moving into survivor consciousness. However, the greater place is that place of understanding that when I can put my elbows down and allow myself to be open and vulnerable and available, I'm walking in the world from a place of compassion and empathy. The process to get to that is that space of what I just described in terms of forgiveness. The ability to look at oneself, to be accountable, to hold myself accountable, and to know that whatever has happened in my life, I don't have to hold or be held captive energetically, emotionally. I had a teacher back in the day that described it as it's like an emotional crock pot, if you will. Keep putting emotion in, and because of the fact that I'm maybe not ready, not conscious, not available to do the processing of the emotion. So as that emotion continues to be stockpiled, there's a lockdown, there's a feeling of being cut off from that energy that is seeking to flow through me, creatively, lovingly, joyously, all of that vitality. No matter how free I may feel, there's always more in terms of availability. So when I'm willing to really consciously call forth, do the practice around this forgiveness aspect, and go back and look in retrospect what has happened in my life and where I may have left aspects or hidden aspects of self in those experiences, and bring them to the forefront, create the availability for that emotion to come up and to dissolve, of course, to the nothingness from which it came. But I have to be willing to take that lid off that pot and allow that emotion to come up. And through that process, I always feel more free. I always feel more self. And that's self with a capital S, more God self, more free, more vital. Life becomes more enjoyable, if you will. And out of that, the energy that moves me again, continuing to move me forward into a greater life, a greater way of being, perceiving, and feeling more free in the world that's around me. For me, that is self-esteem. That is an aspect of self-esteem, I should say. That is a way that I can begin to trust myself, knowing that no matter how I bump into the lessons of life, no matter how I make an error, make a mistake in a relationship, in a business opportunity, whatever is unfolding around me, there is always an opportunity to heal. The brilliance of what I call solution-based living, which is a path that I've been on for over 20 years now. It's not about getting stuck in the problem. It's about looking, identifying, seeing what it is, and then moving into the solution, which is always about coming back to greater truth. And so the opportunity as we completed that class is, the joy, of course, they don't have any footwork this weekend other than just the opportunity to begin to see and kind of live into the space of forgiveness now that they've reclaimed aspects of self and let others off the hook and allowed ourselves a greater sense of owning, stepping into what we've just processed, so that we can find that energy and allow that energy to begin to, once again, like I said, drive the bus, begin to increase that sense of joy and co-create from that vibration, which is always so much more fun and so limitless, if you will, moving from that place. So just what an honor to be in a process where I can see where, as we're talking, self-esteem and now this forgiveness piece, and then we're moving into the visionary aspect of the time of year where we're beginning to plant seeds of newness and moving into what we really want to create, co-create, open ourselves and become available to. So always an honor and a joy to be facilitating, to be living and participating in this process. Like I mentioned, after the new year, we do have some upcoming classes that are going to begin. They're actually not going to begin until Monday, January 11th, but we are going to begin on Monday, that is a Monday, from 6:30 to about 8 p.m., where we're going to begin to identify aspects of self and put a language to those areas of our lives and begin to describe what we are calling forth, what we are willing to walk out into the world. So we're going to be meeting on a weekly basis for 8 weeks, which will conclude the very last week of February, which is ideal. There will be the week series, the series price, and then there's also going to be the opportunity if you choose to just drop in on a weekly basis. There'll be pricing listed there as well. We're also going to be moving into, not physically moving, but utilizing a space, I should say, down off of Dodge, and the directions in the map and all of that information. It's the Grounded Wellness Center. A woman that facilitates yoga in a local artist studio is going to be opening up and making that space available. So I'm going to be facilitating meditation there as well as chance to move. Great studio space, definitely effortlessly, it's easy to get to, I should say. So it'll be great for everybody who wants to come and try to move your meditation. If you are somebody who would like to try that out, it's something that I've been facilitating off and on over the years, and I absolutely enjoy and delight facilitating that. And then meditation, we're going to take on some meditative practices, see what works for you as we move through all the many mighty ways that individuals meditate over. I love meditation, and I have found it imperative to have a multitude of ways in which I can tune in, go within, and I love the practices. So it'll be great to create a community opportunity for those who want to just drop into a meditation a couple times a week. So like I said, watch for that information on the Facebook page. I will continue to update, list, post information, classes, and workshops. There is not an app for an actual calendar on Facebook, so the classes will all be listed individually, but it will be updated as the updates come in, and I just celebrate you right where you are, like I mentioned during this holiday season. There is more good available to you, far beyond what you can maybe see in this moment, and I just encourage you to continue to redefine fitness and allow it to be more fun, and allow it to be a greater intentional way of being in the world, and allow it and invite it to be absolutely transformative for you and your loved ones. If you'd like to get a hold of me, my phone number is 520-270-0409. You can also email me at idealday.today@gmail.com. That email again is idealday.today@gmail.com. I look forward to connecting. I will know that we cross paths in a class or workshop around town during this holiday season. Peace and blessings to you, one and all, and I am knowing truly what's highest and best for each and every individual, no matter what you're walking through in this moment, that you feel absolutely cradled by the divine. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.